Good evening. Welcome to presentation for Module 10. For Module 10, I will start by logging in with an admin password so that we can be able to view all the necessary sections in the admin. So for this module, one of the main things was to make sure we handle the admin page. Both cards, there are two cards in the admin page. The first card goes to user management. As you can see, there's a skeleton loader as you wait for the users to be rendered in a table. This table contains all of the users ranked by their first names and last name. And after that, there are two CRUD operations, edit and delete. Likewise, this page contains a search where you can be able to search a user by first name, by last name, list the results either 10 per page or 20 per page or 30 per page, and be able to refresh the page as well. So for example, if we want to search for this person, Carl Drogo, if we write KH and we search, it should be able to bring us that person's name or any other people who have the letters KH in their names. If we refresh, it brings back everybody. And if we do the same and try to search via their last name, which is Drogo DR, brings the same thing. And again, when we refresh, it brings back the whole list. Currently, I have 12 users, and if I decide now to toggle the list to make sure it's 20 per page, all of the users, the last of which was Jack Snow, load onto this one page, and so and there they are all presented there. When I go back to the admin page again, go to the second card, which is supposed to, oh sorry, if we go back to the user management page once again and try to update users, first we click edit, a model appears to ask whether you're sure you want to edit, and maybe we can edit the location for this person and say this person is in the Vale, right? And if we say, in this page, not only does it render all the information for all the users, it can enable us to go back to user manager without editing the particular user, or enable us to go back, like you see, did not edit, enable us to go back and edit. And when we edit the user, the model pops up to confirm that we really do, we are sure we want to edit. And if we go back and check, the information about the user persists. So back to the user manager. Likewise, we can see we had 10. The next page we have 2. If we delete the last person, for example, we say we delete, it brings us a pop-up model to ask us whether we are sure we want to delete, and as we see, the user deleted successfully. Likewise, if we want to change the passwords, because that is something that was also important for this section, it asks, maybe we try to change the password here, and it requests for a confirm password. And when you try to update, it brings up a pop-up model to make sure that you really are updating the password. Right. When we go back to the other card, which is the content manager card, for the content manager, once again, there is the skeleton loading as we wait for the posts to load. All the posts are loaded. Currently, there are 40-something posts. As you can see, there are more than 4 pages, 10 per page, there are 40-something posts. Same as the other, you are able to filter out results in tens. So if you decide to have 30 per page, it will end up being in only 2 pages. There goes the list, a very long list, and ends up being in 2 pages. Likewise, apart from rendering the posts, we are able to search for posts, for example, from 1st of October. Maybe we search until 7th just to see, and you can see that there is that on 3rd, on 2nd, and all of them. If we refresh, all the posts come back. And likewise, when we delete, for example, if we want to delete this first comment, when you delete, you get a pop-up model to confirm that you really don't want to delete, and the post is actually deleted. Another thing that was supposed to be handled this time in this module is the fact that the page is supposed to be responsive depending on what screen size you're having. So if you click here and you look at the pages, maybe I pick iPhone 12 Pro, we can be able to see. I will zoom in a little bit. We are able to see that you are able to look at all that. Let me zoom out. You're able to look at all that. And if you want to post, for example, the post comes up. But more importantly, I wanted to, sorry, I zoomed up way too much. Apologies for that. I wanted to go to a page like home, which is a better option for the rendering, and you are able to see, and make that smaller, this page larger, right? The nav bar is rendered on the bottom in a smaller screen with the icons at the bottom, and you are able to view all of the elements on top of each other. I opted to put elements such as the network, such as the home where the profile is and the posts are one on top of the other. Arrange them vertically for easier scrolling on a smaller screen. Likewise, if you go on a larger screen, the navbar now switches to the left, and the viewer is able to continue viewing. And when we switch back to the computer, the navbar again comes to the left of the page. All of these are, of course, supported in the back end. The first thing I will start with, not in the back end, sorry, they're supported in the code. The first thing I'll start with is when handling in the user manager. The first among the first things we started to look at was to ensure that the first name and last name appear, and you're able to search, and it's able to filter out. All of this information is the logic for that is contained on here on 248, where you're able to filter. This function is able to filter names by either first name, last name, or a combination of both of them, and bring the response. And when it filters and it sets the search term for what you're actually trying to figure out. Then after searching and filtering and bringing back the response, if you want to reset the page, the function at line 276 resets the page back to what it was like before filtering. To handle the pagination, the logic for that is contained from line 283. Likewise, in line 289 and 295 contains in line 283 and 289 contains the how the different pages are handled and how the page size is reset, so that when you load the first 10, then brings up the next 10, and so on and so forth. The function for the drop down also supports that. That is where the results per page are filtered out. And in line 303, as you go, it helps to render the button that helps to filter out the pages. Also, when we go to the page that handles the user update, the user update page, when you are trying to the main thing here was that we are able to set the form, we're able to change the passwords, and for the passwords especially, to handle the model, I created a model to handle the password confirm. And aside from that, we are able to, and that is on here on line 265, sorry. Likewise, this password model is defined up here in line here in the function is defined in 287 to help us confirm the passwords and to help us ensure that both passwords are correct, and then the model comes up and confirms the password. Thirdly, in the user update also, we're supposed to make sure that apart from the form working, that there is a link that redirects a user back to the user management page. That link is contained at the bottom of this page in, I'll scroll here, back to user manager. I think we saw that link earlier, and on click it navigates back to user manager, which is the table that holds all the information for the user for the users. Lastly, the last page is a content management page. In this page, which was handling all of the filtering, and the content management page, which handles all of the filterings. The functions that handle the filtering, especially for the dates, the functions for that are held in, scroll down now, are held here. The from date is held here in 507 to the to date. And the logic for that, the function for handling the dates and helping to filter out the dates is here handled in line 364. Also, another thing that was supposed to be done for the content management is the select all button, which is supposed to refresh the page. That is held in here in line 550, sorry, which handles the reset filters. On click, it handles the reset filters and loads back everything as was at the beginning. Next, the delete, the function that handles the delete is on line 338. This is the function that handles the delete, and it goes and fetches the API via a defined path, goes fetches from the backend, deletes the post, and handles the delete of the posts and the comments and the likes all in the backend. Lastly, in the content management page, we were supposed to ensure that the pagination is held, and the pagination functions and logic are held in from line 337 and 402 for the drop down, and to handle each page size as it comes in line 405, and of course this is the rendering for the drop down button. Also, while thinking about skeleton designs, using the placeholder function, here the skeleton designs from line 424, the use effect for the skeleton designs running all the way there. I opted to have cards and paragraphs as placeholders, and I set a timeout for 1 second just to ensure that it is able to be visible before it loads to the next page. And after the timeout clears, the content of the page loads as normal. So this is the rendering for it, and it appears on all the other pages: the content management, the user page, the home, and the blogs page. Lastly, in terms of responsive design, one of the major places that I applied the responsive design was in the navbar. First of all, to ensure that that on the navbar appears at the bottom on mobile, and that is executed here from line 201 to ensure that below a certain width, below medium size, the navbar appears at the bottom. While this logic is going on here, for a tablet and a computer and desktop, this from line 130 as you go down is what appears. Some flexible spaces we did was, to hide it from any screen smaller than medium and to make it flexible and all of that. So that is how I managed to do that. And also when you look at the logos, these are logos that only appear when the space is a certain size, and it dictates how the size with which they show up. If it's a very small screen, it's 2, but if it's slightly larger, it goes to 3. And that is the end of this module. Thank you very much.